the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to blame. Their brains are fixed and rigged, you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in.
I'm a sharp guy, that's why. There's Brian. There he is, going to kiss.
Give me that good news.
Why is that, Scott?
Because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Yeah. Every fourth.
That good news.
Oh.
Because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Good morning. Welcome to the grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles. He's Jones. And today we have a special guest, Tony from the Reject Rundown.
That's it. Tony
That's
the
right.
Kid.
Tony the Kid. There we go. Tony the Kid.
Thank you for having me. Yes,
Yeah,
I'll be
man.
glad to be on the show.
Right,
Welcome,
certainly.
welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
and this is not a 4-hour. This is just hour, bro.
Get in and get out type of
Tomorrow
shit.
you're going back at it, right?
Yes, tomorrow at 12
Yeah.
o'clock, we're going to watch the wrestling event over there in Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. So it's
Yeah.
going to be fun. Look, we've just noticed that we've been having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of tuners, a lot of people want to chime
Love it.
in, comment. Especially last time we did the boxing event last
Yeah.
Saturday. Like literally, we're about to wrap up the show, and then all of a sudden, a flood of just messages started
Yep.
coming through,
Yeah.
and we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh
Everyone
man!"
woke up,
I
right?
love
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Right.
And everyone had something to chime in about the event,
I
so
love it.
stayed on point. It was good.
You guys are
we had
great.
Fun.
You guys are great. Of course, you can hear them live. Tomorrow you're going live when?
12 o'clock. It'll start at 12 o'clock here on 2 and 6 net and our channel, the
Noon.
Reject Rundown.
Noon
At
o'clock.
Noon
Noon
o'clock.
o'clock on
Noon
the
o'clock?
big 3-day weekend, man.
10
That's
a.m. or
awesome.
p.m.
PM.
Noon o'clock.
Yeah,
Noon o'clock.
Of course, you see Uncle Pete up there. Uncle Pete, our good friend. If you want to be part of this most unique show here on 21.6, you're going to put that into your URL. Put it right in the URL and come in and be part of this show. If you choose not to, I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Brought to you today through the financial support of our good friends at
Community home inspections, where we care about your house like you do. Actually, probably more, because we really want to make sure you're getting what you think you're getting.
As long as your check doesn't bounce.
Well, we can take cash too, and that doesn't bounce. I mean,
Or-
that's the only way I prefer it anymore these days.
Or
That's
if
the
your
only thing
money's
somebody-
not in your savings at all whatsoever, and you got to transfer over checking, but it takes 3 business days to go
Yeah.
ahead and get over through.
Right.
That's the only way to do it, though. They can't steal cash from you, right?
That's
you can't
right.
be hacked with
That's
cash.
right.
You got to get into my pocket, literally.
Right.
So last week we had a great conversation, and you had said, "Well, I guess we'll agree to disagree," which I think is the stupidest saying ever in the history of man. And we said, "Let's make that today's topic."
Yeah, we did.
So now we're going to talk about it. It tickled the funny bone of Tony the Kid. He says,
Yeah.
"I got to come in for
I
this
gotta see
one."
that one.
I do, yeah. What a good
Yeah.
one.
So on this, and listen, everybody, I want you to have a very safe Memorial Day. There's going to be a lot of graduation parties. There's going to be a lot of craziness going on this week, which happens all the time. But just take time to remember that the good old red, white, and
I was
blue.
going to say, remember the reason
yeah.
why this weekend is. It's not just to get together with friends and drink and have a good time. I mean, we are remembering, but remember why you're able to get together with them. The
Right.
reason, the word I'm using is able to get
That's
together
right.
with them, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
a lot of people don't even. A lot of younger kids don't even understand, when
No.
you tell people, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, like,
The meaning
what does that
behind
mean? What's just a day I get out of school or something like that? I don't think they really understand the meaning and the sacrifices that a lot of these people have gone through.
No, not at all. I think it really has to come down to if you have a family member in the military or something like that was involved, then you kind of have an understanding of where it comes from.
And you still don't even have a real understanding,
Exactly,
right? Because
not
they'll
the broad
tell you
picture.
stories, but
That's
It
it.
goes in
insane.
through, and it's like you have to kind of put in that perspective to understand the reason why. And
Yeah.
for those may not agree with the process and what occurs based on the military wise, you still got to be respectful.
That's
You
right.
can't.
Yeah.
Can't
no matter what condition our world is ever in, you always have to respect those people and the things that they did for our country. So for everyone out there that served for us, we remember you, we love you, we thank you. And for everyone currently serving, we love you and we thank you.
I disagree.
I'll agree with that to disagree on that one. So why would you disagree or agree to disagree with me? Just to stop our little back and forth session?
I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole, whatever you want to do. So we could just say this, right? There's a war in the Ukraine right now, right? Which Americans are sitting there saying how bad Putin and Russia is for invading a territory and killing innocent people.
Yeah.
All I will do is just say 2001 through 2018.
Right. Yeah. 17 years.
And if you understand,
right?
if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If you know,
But it was very patriotic those years. That's all. If you know, you know. So there you go. It's different depending on what uniform you're wearing, right?
It is.
Well, that would be. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Anyway, I digress. That's why I would say that.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
There's no winner in war.
No, there is no winner.
No,
there is
So
no.
none on
Only
both
the people
sides.
that are supplying only the people that are
right.
supplying it, right? I mean, and
All
most
right.
of them are just.
So
Nonsense.
last week you said, I guess we'll agree to disagree. Why do you say that? Why does that even come up?
Well, for last week with you, I was just done with the conversation.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of mentally spent. And for me, when I use it, and I try not to use it, but I'll generally do it when I'm just done and I don't have much left in it, and try to be polite and respectful of the person, other than saying, I'm tired of listening to you, idiot. Let's just agree to disagree and maybe come back and revisit it at some point. It does. For me, it depends on who, what subject, but it's an easy way to shut down the conversation other than saying, I got to take this phone call.
Drew Cappuccino, good morning. Shayna, of course, happy Friday, says respectfully, isn't agree to disagree just a nice way of saying get bent?
Absolutely. But that's what I was just saying. It's a nice way of saying, hey, I'm just done with this for right now.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you were ill prepared for the conversation. And so what you have said is, I've got nothing. We'll agree to disagree until I can go reload my guns and come back at you.
In some circumstances, yes.
That's what I think the big
in
picture.
some circumstances, yeah.
It's the circumstance of where you put the phrase at. Like based on you said, like if you're done with the conversation, you're gonna want to put that phrase in, which in terms is you just want to hurry up and rush the conversation to be over. So at that time, the other person's like, all right, now you kind of said that just to kind of eliminate the conversation.
Well, and right. And for me, like I've got some people in my life that they just will go, and just no matter what you say, even if you say you agree with them, they'll continue to go.
Oh, big time.
And I mean, I think everyone has somebody
SG3,
like that.
good morning, brother.
Yeah, everyone has somebody like that, and so for me, it's just like it is a polite way of saying, I'm done with this at least for right now. Right? Some people it's the only way. It's the only way I've found that works politely, instead of saying, I'm just absolutely done, or I so disagree with you that I don't want to talk to you anymore. Because then you're just leaving with bad feelings between you, potentially.
It angers you up, and then
right.
it stirs your day up. You get all discombobulated for the rest of the day. But the reason why I say it's okay, I started to learn to start using that in a different manner. I kind of caught myself where I was using that in that phrase, like I just want done with this conversation. But if you're going to be using it as, let's say, for instance, we can agree to disagree when it comes to who's better as an NBA player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anybody, when uses it in that phrase, it's not necessarily like you're right, I'm right, you're wrong type of scenario. It's your preference. It's who you like in general. And the reason why I say this, because there's a group chat that my fellow friends and I were in, and we're having that big debate now. Who's the GOAT? Who's this? Who's that? But it's like, listen, we're going to agree on different terms and different ways. Yeah. We're going to disagree on different things. So we're just saying, I'm done arguing with you. I'm done kind of convincing you that this guy's better, this guy's not better.
Yeah, why not just do, you're so fucking stupid and bullheaded. I'm done with this conversation, you piece of shit.
Well, that's why I said it depends. Right? It depends on the situation of the person, right?
Exactly.
Some people you can say that. If I said that to you, you'd be like this.
Here's what happens.
Right, screw you. Yeah. But you talk to me the next day or even an hour later.
Listen, I'll come back to it. Let's see what Don has to say. Sometimes clarity, and good morning, Don, all the way from Grapevine, Texas.
Good old Grapevine, baby. I love it.
Sometimes clarity is more important than agreement. I like to at least understand why people think what they think. Yeah. I might think they are nuts, but saying so in the moment may be a waste of time. All right,
Absolutely.
so you're doing it to protect their feelings.
Yeah.
And Shayna says,
exactly.
it gives a heads up. We're on course to a throat punch.
I love you.
The more intelligent, back away when unarmed. The others provide fabulous entertainment. Yes, exactly. Bob, good morning. Glad to have you with us. Pops says, when you agree to disagree, you accept that neither of you is going to change the other's mind. That's when you stop arguing and move on. Well, let's talk about that.
Right. And that's a really good.
I think
point.
that's kind of like the really big thought process of me saying that phrase.
Right.
I'll use it
until you can come back. So for me, until you can come back and revisit it if you want to. There's some subjects.
Right.
Like for me, like a lot of them, and I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to argue with you over this when it's just something so in my world and how I feel, something so minute that it's not worth potentially jeopardizing a relationship, right?
Yeah. Like
the NBA thing that you guys are talking about, that's purely, in my mind, an opinion. I mean, stats can back things up, but there's other reasons why people might feel that this guy is the greatest for whatever reason, because maybe off the court they do
scenarios, different things.
There's different scenarios, right?
Activities.
So it's
he kept shaking his head, but it's
no,
that
he
phrase.
always does. He's the rebel rouser over
because
here. That's why we agreed
because he loves LeBron and that's this guy. He's the greatest.
Hold on, let's not talk sports because then I just
listen.
Yeah, it goes on a different phrase.
This is called the grounds, but not laying on the ground from being checked.
Right.
The person who brings that phrase up, let's just agree to disagree, is the person without facts, without knowledge, and is only basing it on feelings
I'll disagree
opinion.
with that all day long.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, so there would be some times, and there has been times that I would back out of a discussion, or even sometimes they turn to arguments because I don't have enough knowledge to really combat what they're saying.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Right, exactly. But it's
Defense
also a way to step out, and I'm going to say politely, right? I don't know at this time. Like, let me. Well, you always say all the time, like when someone brings something up, I don't know enough about that. Let me research it. Right. So with me, and sometimes that's will happen for me, is I'll say I don't know, or I don't have enough information to argue it, so I'm just done.
I'm bridging civil tension. Phil throws shit at me all the time that piss me off, right?
Yeah,
we can tell.
And so I've got to instead of react, I have to go research.
Yeah,
right.
And if I can't find something factual that backs my feeling, then I go, it was just feelings. So I have to agree with him. I can't disagree because I'm like, oh wait, that's my feelings.
Gotcha.
Right. So the people who use this, number one, don't have facts. Number two, are afraid to get feelings hurt or hurt somebody else's feelings. Well, as our good friend Drew Cappuccino says, ain't nobody died from hurt feelings.
Really, no one's never done that part, and I think you're right when it comes to a feeling perspective point of view, because if you're having an argument, if it's based on a relative, based on the family situation, based on something that occurred within friends or something like that, and be like, you know what, this conversation's going a different way. We can already tell that no matter what we're going to convince each other of, no one's going to convince each other. So in this point of view, you're seeing it one way, I'm seeing it one way as well too. Either way could be right, could be wrong. We factually, like you stated, facts or anything like that, we may not even know at the moment. He may not have facts. I may not have facts. So with that being said, and before this escalates to a throat cut or
throat punch. That's a t-shirt. This conversation is
dang, OJ.
Exactly.
Dang, OJ.
Before it gets to that situation, I'll be like, listen, we're gonna just say that you're disagreeing with me, I'm disagreeing with you, and we're just agreeing that we both disagree at this time. So before it gets crazy, let's just come back with level-headedness and actually come back, maybe factual, maybe look into facts. You want to do statistics? Look them up. I'll do the same. We'll come up. Now let's also say my website is different website than yours. It's gonna have show different facts.
Don says sometimes I choose not to get into a battle of wits with an unarmed person.
Unnamed person, I think his name might be.
It's unarmed. Read it. Unarmed. That means they don't have a lot of wit.
There's the glare.
It's a dummy.
Yeah.
It's meaning you're an idiot.
He's
Not you.
John. Why are you
I'm-
calling
I'm
Kent
not
an
you.
idiot?
And Drew says most one-uppers say, "Let's agree to disagree." Lisa, good morning. How are you? Says, how often
she
do
says Lisa today? It's not a
Yeah,
Facebook user.
That's
Nice.
right.
Welcome.
And she's out there on the YouTube. How often
Oh, okay,
do
there you
people
go.
battle over things that just don't matter? Oftentimes,
day.
someone
Oh, God.
not agreeing with you does not affect life at all, but yet people get so
Heated.
Well, your answer to your first part of
Right.
the thing is every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
right?
all-
So this,
every day.
yeah. So this actually comes back to the world when we had to be politically correct, and I had to give a shit about your feelings. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't give
Oh
a
yeah,
fuck.
the whole PC
Which-
movement just
right,
pushed us
as
right
cancel
to where we're
culture.
at right now,
Yeah,
right?
as Uncle Pete says,
Yep.
my fuck bucket's empty.
Yeah,
I don't have no more
fucks to give.
fucks to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
If
was
I
the-
hurt your feelings,
I
grow up here and
the-
get over it.
Right,
Yes.
right.
I kind of live that motto with me too as well. I kind of have to, with certain women, of course, you kind of have to tread lightly, be like, but listen, this is just my reality. This is just my feelings and
wonderful.
point of view.
Before we
leave
go
it-
any further, can you define woman?
I was just gonna say, I say you're getting yourself in trouble here.
I
Tony.
know, and that's
said,
what you
ladies,
can't.
please.
you
You can
have
send
to
your
be-
email to
I
Tony
love-
at Reject Rundown.
I love
Those
how you
of
said
who identify as a
politically
lady.
correct. You got to be in that standpoint.
Right.
Yes.
I release people that resort to that response too often. It's telling. Yeah. Like, all right, you're an idiot. I mean, that's
Well, in some respects, they could be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I mean, there's, like I said earlier, with me, there's sometimes that
So-
I don't have the knowledge. And so
Yeah.
I just want to I'm going to disagree with you because it's the easiest way to shut you down. And I'm the first one to admit that.
Shut the
I don't know-
conversation down.
We'll
Really,
shut the conversation down and keep our relationship on a decent level until either one, we can revisit it when I have some knowledge. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Because my thing is you kind of also have to, in a sense, not have to say, but you want to say it just because I don't want to say you're right. I don't want to agree that you're actually right now. But what I am going to say is that, okay, yeah, you may know some stuff more than I do at the moment, but that also tells me that I need to go look up more.
Yeah, but
Right,
so if I
right, for
find
me,
something more,
so listen.
Right,
then
for
I'm
me,
going to come back and be better. In
For
a
me,
sense.
I'm looking at it for like time to reserve
Yes.
for me to walk away and revisit it to understand, because like I say a lot of times, you guys and everybody out there listening to this, I love it because you guys make me think of things in a different manner because I was raised in my life, right? This
Yes.
is my lane.
Right.
So I have been taught and I have seen things and I have had certain perspective and ways of doing things.
Right.
And I'm not always right. I mean, I'm wrong probably 9 times out of 10 every day, right? I mean, that's just the way it happens. But if I can't discuss with somebody and then be able to go back and try to, rearm myself, I guess
Right.
that's not really the right word, but get the knowledge that I need. I don't want to piss you off. And I won't say I agree to disagree to anybody that I know. I'll say it to friends because I don't want to offend them. And I want to be able to revisit that conversation.
Then are they a true friend? Offend the fuck out of me, right? Hey, if we got a relationship, I ain't gonna go home and go, oh, tell me the
Yeah, but
dick."
you have to
that's the
understand
thing.
this, and I think
That's
our
the thing
audience,
too,
I think
though.
our audience will agree with
Yes.
this. You are different than most. See, like
That's
you are,
correct.
I'm
right?
a lot
So-
different than
but you're-
most.
but you're-
My therapist says.
Not that people aren't real, but you are real, right? And a lot of people these days aren't real. There's always some underlying idea, current,
Education part of things in
Well,
the moment could be
he's not
evolving. them.
educated. He's a farm boy. He don't know shit.
Yeah,
But that
Look at
could
it.
go
Yeah.
different manner.
He's got matching glasses to his underwear. We don't know.
shoes.
I'm going to agree to disagree. Oh,
Shoes.
look
Oh,
at that.
Shoes.
So,
right?
all right.
Glasses and shoes.
Oh,
All right.
Shayna
Shayna
getting
says, Scott, you just don't care enough or defer to someone you think knows more.
Someone I think
Bob
knows
says,
more.
arguments happen all the time. Sometimes we call them quarrels. Often they might take the form of debates, or they could simply be spirited discussions. Whatever you call them, difference of opinion happens all the time.
Mhm.
Yes.
Great statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great statement.
True.
There are some who will completely
That's my
ignore
dog, by the
facts.
way.
Yes, I'm sitting at a table full of them. Hurt feelings is a trend and has resulted in many being hurt.
Yeah, just nobody even get. People these days are just crazy and rude. For me, I would rather
Jen,
say I
good
agree
morning.
to disagree than to say a nasty comment that you can't take back.
That
I
because
would rather them think I'm dumb,
you got
that I don't have the knowledge to do it, than to close that door completely with that person. I would potentially like to keep that door open and make my
So-
decision
This is where I was going to go a minute ago. Good morning, Mary Shep. Glad to have you with us as well, Jen. But Don says, as they say, you can't fix stupid. So sometimes not worth the investment of time. So instead of saying, hey, I agree to disagree with you, just go, are you able to fix it? And walk away.
Or, all right, how about, so if we're in a heated debate, I look at you and go, look, instead of saying I agree to disagree, be like, Kent, I just don't have enough information. Let me take a week or go get some more information and come back at you. A lot of people, especially the ones that I'm talking about that I'll use at the shutdown, that's not, you know what I mean? Why don't you know? Like, well, because that's not something that's in my wheelhouse right now or something I'm paying attention to. Let me be able to have an intelligent discussion with you.
Yes.
Right. And you, once again, you might be right, but let me at least try.
Shayna, Don says you can't fix stupid. Shayna says you can marry it though.
Tell me why I was actually going to be like, you know what? When agree to disagree comes into, I've used that with my wife a few times actually. Look, man, we agree to disagree that your chicken tastes good today.
These pants make me look fat.
Yeah. So here's
you
the
just
deal.
leave the house right then and there, man.
Here is the absolute truth, Drew. Is, hey, let's not forget, if I don't agree with you, doesn't mean that I hate you. And that's what this, hey, let's agree to disagree. I'm trying to protect your feelings or my feelings.
Yeah.
Guess what? Listen, Ronnie Coppice was my best friend growing up as a kid, little kid, right? And we would get in fist fights over Hot Wheels or something, right? And we'd punch each other and wrestle. And then we'd go home pissed, and then a couple hours later, be like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" Or show up at another door.
You know what I'm saying? Come out.
And a great guy. Still kind of in contact with him today. You know, and that was in elementary school.
Yeah.
My brothers the same way. I'm the youngest of 4. You know how many times I got my ass beat down, and I still love them. Right? It does. Listen, that right there just means, hey man. I respect you enough to get pissed off. I respect you enough and I'm strong enough in our relationship that if I piss you off in a couple hours or the next day, we're gonna get coffee, a beer, whatever, maybe even do a podcast.
You're not wrong, dude.
Right?
But you are not wrong. But the culture has changed.
It's evolved. It's not like that. It's going.
I don't feel like it's like that today for kids from what I see.
Hell no. Hell no.
Like for me, like what you just talked about, Ronnie, same thing. Today, these kids are so sensitive about everything, right?
Not my kids.
Not mine either.
Once again, I just said you're different, right? But the majority,
exactly,
the majority of people out there, and majority of kids out there, they haven't been raised with that thick skin. Oh, you need this? Let me get it for you. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, what do you mean? Your teacher said, you know, I can't think of a count, but you have to accept that people are not going to agree with you, right? Mm-hmm. And that's okay, because if everyone agreed with each other, right, world would be boring.
It would be very less interesting. Exactly.
It would be very less interesting. But the respect factor, like back when that was a respectful thing. If you stood up for yourself and gave your buddy shit, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And really laid into them, and hopefully it was for love, right? And doing for what's best for them. Today, you try to do that, you're done. So that
could be the end of the friendship.
And listen, if y'all know Lisa, this is a great.
You know Lisa like I know Lisa.
Lisa's like, if someone's incredibly heated, I may just say, yes, you are the all-knowing. You know,
that's just a fun statement. That's more inflammatory than I agree to.
The world should bow to you.
Yeah, Lisa,
and just let them sit in their ego. This is absolutely right. I want people to sit there and be like, gosh, I was a dick.
That you can go two ways. You can either be like that, or you could be the person like, you know, you're being sarcastic with me. So you know what? That's it. We're gonna shove.
Yeah. Then my wife's on today.
Well, she's agreeing with the father-in-law. She must want something.
Whoa. Hey, Deidre, you know how to find.
I love you, Deidre. No, she's great.
So what did it say? I agree with Dad, Giles. Neither side is going to back down. It's a tie. Right. Well, and that's the thing, though, too. The comment she makes is, it's not even really a tie, right? It's just you kind of both walk away unsatisfied, right?
Unsatisfied, but also too just saying like, listen, you're in your own realm. I'm in my own realm.
Right.
Our realms are just basically not going to sit here and cross paths with each other, or even share the same breath in the meantime. So we got to back the hell up.
So here's we're gonna stay right here, and go on that. So when you say that, that's you admitting, I'm so fucking closed-minded that I can't hear a word you're saying right now, and I'm not going to.
I agree to you. I agree with that part. Yes, because if I'm pissed, I don't want to hear it. I don't care what your opinion is. And that's nothing too.
Or is it not worth it?
Or it's not worth it too.
Right.
There's
That's
two
you
ways.
saying that you're too stubborn-headed to sit and listen to that person
At that moment,
and understand what they're saying.
at that moment, I
Depends
agree.
on the person. Depends
Nope.
on the person and
Nope.
this bullshit.
Nope.
I would have to say
Depends
if
on the
Nope.
person in discussion, dude. There's
Nope. Hey,
I
mute his
can't
mic.
mention. I can't. Yeah,
Mute his mic.
Mute his mic. I can't talk about the person, but there's some people that no matter what, if they're wrong, they're gonna argue
yes,
to friggin'
to
death,
death,
dude.
Yes,
Just because they have to be right.
no matter
Right?
what
no,
phrase.
no matter what. And I have a few people like that in my life that just no matter what. So that's the easiest thing in the world.
Here's
for me
what
to do
never
because
comes out of
I
your
don't-
mouth in that time. I understand. I don't have to agree, but I understand.
Yeah,
It hasn't worked.
If you just say, I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. That's it.
But I can't. But if you don't, understand where they're coming from. How can you understand what they're coming
because
from?
you're so heated
I
and
can't.
closed-minded, you
I
can't.
can't.
That's what I'm saying. It's on you, not them.
I would have to say I would agree
In-
to that
in
part.
some
For
once
me.
again, and this is going to come back to different time, different conversation, different person, or the person.
Somebody
that's
get
gonna-
this guy a gummy. He's
gonna-
getting heated up here.
I love it. It's good time. My freaking medication kicked in. I'm ready to go for it. Well, no, this is a good subject for me because this is something that everybody.
Yes.
They might not use the phrase, agree to
Right.
disagree. The cancel culture is basically. I wish all those idiots would have said, "I agree to disagree," so they could actually revisit things.
There
But
is no
any-
cancel culture.
All
Just
right.
keep moving on.
All right, so let's keep moving on. But that type of
So maybe-
mentality, right?
Yeah.
And it's I don't even know. It's just it's frustrating for me. But each situation is very, very unique and very different as to why
No.
I would or
You,
wouldn't.
Relationships
you say
are
that because
different.
you're too damn closed-minded and stubborn to understand where they're coming from.
In,
Get on
some,
that
in,
side
so-
of
in
things.
some conversations,
All of them.
I am.
All of them.
We're going at it. So after the show today, if you hear ambulances coming through, bridging civil tension,
You see Jones in the corner
Jones in the
bleeding.
corner
I'm
going,
I'm the one that called.
He
I'm
agreed
be
to
like,
disagree with
listen,
me one more
I'm
time.
gonna be like, listen, there's two Caucasians
Hey,
here
we've been
fighting
working
each
out.
other at the moment right now.
Do not get the Latino man. I'm calling it in.
I'm the Latino man calling for these incidents, trying to save
Right.
these men.
Right. My arms
Yeah.
are pumped this week from all the golf too, dude. So you better watch out. We're in a golf marathon.
Yeah, Robert, I too am an idealist. Shana says discussions to last.
It's a lost
is
art. Totally,
Right.
totally.
But I love
And
discussions.
I love discussions.
I did
but
my podcast
right.
for that now. That's
Right.
basically what it
I
is.
loved. I mean, this is why this whole thing was started,
Mhm.
right? Because we can talk and just give each other shit nonstop, and after it was just like a kumbaya love.
So Don says, I totally agree with Andrew's statement. Somewhere along the line, people started equating disagreement with hate. That
oh my
is
God.
just a play that to shut people
So
up. Yeah.
with that being said, so and here's my question with that, right? Instead of disagreement, right, being hate, do you think that falls more onto the person's psyche? Like, because you don't agree with my knowledge, I'm stupid, you hate me? I mean,
Well, sure.
what-
That's
you know what I mean?
it's on your psyche because you're too stubborn and bullheaded to understand what they're saying.
But dealing
Right,
with,
but
let's
I
say,
mean,
but if
people
you're dealing with
feeling that
someone
way,
that
yeah,
has,
right.
let's say we have someone like it's not say bipolar or anything like that, but let's say they have a mental health issue where it's that base of the argument, and you're noticing that they're kind of ramping up within themselves, and they're kind of get that anxiety attack, and you can tell that all the triggers are starting to come in, and it's like, well, you got to have to de-escalate this,
red right
all
here.
everything. So
Ooh.
one thing is you have to de-escalate the
Women get red,
situation.
right.
Yeah,
So you
I
have
see
to
my wife's chest.
Say so. You have
Yeah.
to
Sorry, I
say
didn't
so.
mean to
No,
butt
it's
in.
okay. But I mean, for me, let's put it this way. For me, I think that's where I use that term and why I started using that a lot more, because my wife has anxiety and she kind of deals with that. So I've
She
noticed
did marry you.
exactly. So that being said, with those arguments, they
Because he
kind of
can
get.
lick his own eyebrow.
I'm the one gentleman that sits there and just keep going. I'll go
I
keep
agree
going,
to
but it's
disagree
like
on
you
that
got to
one,
go.
hey.
Bob
Oh.
says agreeing to disagree doesn't mean you have to give up your opinion. On the contrary, you simply recognize others' right to hold a different opinion. You just agree not to argue about it. Everything in life is based on how we, quote unquote, perceive things.
Our point of vision.
Yeah, but I'm not agreeing to disagree.
Mm-hmm. You just don't want to say it.
I am digging my heels in and saying you're going to agree with me, right? We all use this. Hey, let's just agree to disagree, like a fucking Etch-a-Sketch, and we're going like this. It's gone. It ain't gone. How many times has somebody said that to you and ate at you for the next 3 days?
That too.
You're like, that
That's part of the
motherfucker,
reason
right?
I do it.
Yeah.
Son
That's
of-
part of the reason I do it, right?
right?
Shut them down
It
in their
doesn't-
mid-thought.
It doesn't erase it like an etch a sketch.
And
It's
then
not
you go
known.
you go
Wouldn't that be
back to the
nice?
conversation afterwards.
Or a
and be
color
like,
form.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice, though?
Now
That
listen,
brain was like an etch-a-sketch.
Mary
That'd be
brings up a
really
good
good.
point, right? Kent has leftover manicotti cold.
Eats
Yeah,
leftover
eats it.
manicotti
I eat
cold.
it. Yeah, I don't ever heat up leftovers. I
Mhm.
just eat it cold out the fridge, right?
And,
I
Pizza
don't agree
especially.
with that, but we're still friends. Yeah, I love her.
That's not
right?
a conversation. I love you. Good morning, Mary. And if you're stalking me, please, I'll tell you where I'm at next week. So we
Yeah.
ran into each other all week.
Right.
I haven't seen her in months, and we ran into her nonstop. So thank you. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, Lisa, that's
But-
people with me too expect sarcasm. Yeah. So Scott, are you saying we can agree to disagree regarding it being a tie? Yeah.
Ooh.
So you're saying no, it's not a tie.
Well, I think that would depend on the discussion, the conversation. But I don't think any really conversation can end in a tie because is it? How do you judge it? I mean,
Well,
but based on so
tie?
I think at that
I mean,
point
if you
you're
both walk away feeling good, bad, and different, I mean, how would you? Let me ask you this, Deidre: how would you classify it as a tie? I mean,
based on
Look,
that
it's
phrase,
easy-
it's
it's
where
easy
it's
in
going
a
for a
sporting
tie.
Let me
event to have
just
a
cut
tie.
in right here at the bottom of the hour. J&H Flowers and Events, Jen, over there. It's $5 Friday. You're going into a long weekend. Go stop by
They're
and grab a bouquet of $5
yeah,
for
they're over there on
$5.
Green Street and
Yep.
Charles J. Miller Road, or
Yep. Yeah.
what else do they call Charles J. Miller? There's
No, that's
Bull
it.
Valley.
Bull Valley.
Bull Valley and
Great stuff.
Green
Great
Street.
friends of the show. We love
Yeah.
them. They're new sponsors with us here.
Yeah, great people, great
J&H
flowers.
Flowers and Events, and they've got stuff for your man cave. It's amazing.
Oh,
But
nice.
today, $5
Nice.
Fridays. If you say you heard it on 21.6, Tom's Productions will pick it up. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
How about that?
I'm heading there right after, honey. I guess you're getting flowers again today.
There you go. Yeah,
You got them
absolutely.
last week for Mother's Day.
Let's
There you
jump
go.
back into
All right,
this.
so
If
she said-
someone's ego has been triggered unconditionally, they will search for absolutely anything to say to win, even if they don't really believe
yes.
Kent.
Lisa, I
No.
love that one. That
it. True.
right.
I-
That right there is one of the issues. Right there is one of the issues that one of the people I use this on
Listen,
all the time has.
Lisa, I say it's the art of misdirection. That's
Why you
where
say
I'll
that?
throw in some sort of
Oh, the government.
comedic something to get you to laugh a little bit, or squirrel out on you real fast.
Well, you
Yeah.
do that when you're nervous or you feel like you're losing.
No,
Yeah, you do.
I do it all the time.
Well, you do it all the time, but I mean, I've noticed that for you, that's when, and me too, like, because we're very similar in personality. When we get into a subject that might be a little sketchy
Uncomfortable.
or uncomfortable, or that we might not have the proper knowledge at that time, we'll kind of misdirect by a joke or something like
I do the
that.
same thing.
Then you'll see
I really
Kevin
do
be
the
like
same
this
thing.
after he did it, and be
No,
like,
no. I mean, I do
like,
that.
oh, by the way, that stupid comment you made to me earlier, I agree to disagree with you, and this is why. You know what I mean? Because he sees his little little pocket computer.
Pocket
Hashtag pocket computer.
Hashtag pocket
Hashtag
computer
pocket
brought up by
computer.
216 to
That's
net
right.
and community home inspections at msn.com.
Yeah.
Send me an email.
I
I don't know
listen,
what you're going to send me an email
I'm
for.
still
but
going
send
to
me
say
an
we've
email.
been doing this show for a couple, 2-3 years now,
Has
right?
it been that
Couple,
long?
2 or 3 years.
To a tree.
And,
Throw some chicken down your
You
throat.
can
There you
throw
go.
that URL in. I'd rather hear it from your mouths rather than me read it all the time because I have
Right.
trouble reading sometimes.
Shayna, you could at least get live with us
Oh,
one
man.
time. So, you know, we want you in
Yeah.
the studio here.
After the
we want
show,
everyone, but
after the show, you're coming home to your wife. No one is going to the hospital or jail. Yeah, so we ain't fighting. You're
yeah, but
going
I
home.
still want to know what she's classifying as a
Right.
tie. What would be? How can you classify any discussion or argument as
That's
walking
where you
away as a
agree.
tie?
That's
Well,
why you say
That
let's
phrase
agree to
that,
disagree.
no, honestly,
the
that
agree to
phrase
disagree
itself.
says that I'm not done. Neither one of us. Let's either revisit or fuck you. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And that depends on the person.
in
and
a
the
sense of a
situation.
tie, because
Right.
you're kind of just
Mhm.
walking away from the situation where neither one won at that moment. Neither one got the one up and say that, oh, I'm actually correct. You're correct. We're just gonna separate right now.
Is there such a thing though, even as winning? Right? I mean,
no between arguments?
in argument, yeah, right. There's no way to really justify or verify that you won. Only
Yeah.
inside your head, really. I mean, because you feel how you feel. You have your knowledge. You are who you are.
Yeah.
So even if the other person's right, you could still walk away. Some people walk away still feel I'm right, and you know what I mean. And those could be the ones that some people would call ignorant because they're too stupid to get out of their own way and understand what the people are saying. But
Mhm.
that's not. So I don't think there could ever be a tie. There can just be an agreement that all right, I'm walking away from you because I don't believe
There's always a tie.
No.
If we
Only when I put
both
it on in
agree,
my
isn't
suit.
if we both agree, isn't that a tie?
No. How is that a tie?
If we both agree,
You're both agreeing that you just want to. You're done with it. We
no,
just
no.
walk
I'm
away.
saying if you say, "Here is my phone," and I go, "Yes, that is
Your
your
phone.
phone,"
Tie.
it's a tie. Yeah.
That's an agreement. Why is it a tie? A tie to me. So let's describe tie.
Sports
Tie to-
analyst right
right.
now is coming
Well,
out of
a
here.
tie-
And they're
a
saying,
tie.
like, listen, this is a boxing event.
Yeah,
I need
right.
to win.
Well, right. So, but the word tie. What's the definition of tie? Because for me, a tie really equates to numbers, right? Or a sport, or some. You know what I mean? Something
See.
where there's a value.
A
attached to it.
competition.
Right.
A competition is a discussion. A competition.
Absolutely. It's called a debate.
Yeah.
A discussion is a discussion. A debate is a debate. Or are they both mutually? They say. I mean,
Are we agreeing to
we-
disagree?
you
Yeah,
know,
we're gonna
but I'm
go
just
this.
trying-
This
so I'm
is a
trying to
green grape and this is a red grape. They're not grapes. Because this one's red. This one's green, but they're not grapes.
They are grapes. They just
No,
get
they're
from
not.
different trees, and they make a different wine.
It'll catch you. Slow
Yeah,
down.
it'll catch you.
Everybody take a
Get
deep
it.
breath and wait till Scott goes,
Oh, shit.
A debate is a conversation.
Yeah.
It's a form of conversation.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
It's
For
a red
points.
grape. It's a red
For
grape.
points. Debating was generally done for a winner. or
If it's a
lose.
sport, yes. If
Right.
you're on the debate, what?
team,
Oh, thank
There
you.
you go.
which has
right.
a score, which could be
Right.
tied because they
But
won
a
this
debate is a
subject.
part is like we're debating debate right now.
Exactly.
And we can both
We're more discussing.
and when we
because there's not
agree,
a-
we
there's no
tie.
win, but in a debate,
We
there's
tie.
a win. But in a debate,
I
there's
agree.
a win and a loss, right?
No,
So when you
or
have
it's
a
a
debate team,
or it's a draw,
red
which is
team
a
wins.
tie.
A tie. Draw
Red
it.
team wins. Well,
Right.
I've never had a draw in a debate because I'm so unknowledgeable.
We'll
that I
agree to
lose all the
disagree.
time. Oh, he snuck that one in there.
We'll agree
In
to
case you guys
disagree.
have some emails or questions, just send it to Scott at 216 the net.
Put it in the header.
Put a Scottism on top there, right?
Right.
We'll make sure we address that. real
Mindset
quickly.
is important. I actually enjoy discussions that are very
it's
spirited.
stimulating
It
for
can
the
be
mind.
fun and you learn things. YouTube. Oh, we back up here. Yeah.
Hence the reason we're
we
here
know
on
that.
Friday morning.
So many people get in arguments with AI now on social media,
A lot.
right? The algorithm is designed to get you
Stirred up more.
to interaction.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because if you like something, you just thumb it or heart it and move on.
That's right.
However, if you get heated,
Yep.
you're going to
Comment.
debate online, and that's what social media wants is your
And-
time
right.
online.
It
They
caught
want your
me a
time
few
online,
times.
and
Yeah.
they're also gaining a profile of you
Yes.
to understand who
Right.
you are, how you think, what
To
you love. I
continue
mean,
that, right.
yeah. So that's the thing is AI and all that stuff. They know more about you.
I'm really
than you do.
disliking social media so much to the point where I took it off my phone.
I only love it because it helped. My wife really enjoys it, and we learn a lot of things off it.
I use it for
not
news.
not the interaction, right? That's
use
what
it
she
for
does
news
too, yeah.
purposes. That's about
Yeah.
it. But as soon as I remember one
advertising.
post, that too. One moment I'm caught a post and I'm sitting here, I chimed in. Next thing you know, I'm getting 6 or 7 messages and I'm chiming back in. I'm like, are you stupid? Like, why would they do this? Why would society want to do that? And then it comes into a whole debate, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I gotta take myself back. I gotta I gotta like, wait a minute. It's 8 o'clock. I've been on this goddamn phone for like 9 hours. Hold up. No. bro.
It got
Done.
you sucked.
Yeah,
right in,
yes,
right? Yeah, it got you
exactly.
sucked
And
right
I was
in.
like, nah, that's it.
That's what it was.
Hey,
That's what it's
that
designed to do.
bass on the hook will run.
It really did. It really got me good. I was
That's what
like,
it's designed
you.
to do, and that's what social media has been
Right.
designed to do, to put everyone at odds end.
damn pocket.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
Deidre
Right.
says
I hate
to
it.
help out
Who's
here,
that?
and God love her, right?
No.
It
I love her
is
too.
possible that neither are wrong, and if neither are going to wiggle on their thoughts, then they call it a tie, right?
No.
I feel that when you get to the agree to disagree point, your conversation has already turned from a conversation into a debate.
You
You could say that one at the end. Absolutely. I
Well
like that.
said.
So,
You really outkicked your coverage there, didn't you?
oh, dude, that's why I married her. I was no dummy.
That's right.
I mean, I am a dummy, but I was no dummy when I chose
You know
her.
what her parents
Yeah.
said? We'll agree to disagree on this one.
No, you know what? Yeah, actually, you know what? They probably did say that. They probably did say that. As much her mom and dad did not really care
Pretty
for
sure,
me for
I'm
a
pretty
while.
sure my father-in-law said the same
That's
thing.
right.
Like, we're gonna agree to disagree. but
if they had their
That's
choice,
why.
I would
That's why
not be
my
around
in-laws
right
come
now.
in shaking their head, go, "Nothing yet, huh?
Yeah,
After
no.
30 years, Alice, nothing. No.
I wonder. Sometimes that would be when it'd be good to be a fly on the wall. With
That's
that one.
right.
Like, really? I mean,
right.
you have an idea
Yeah.
of what's going on, but I mean, what she said there just really. But you're turning the conversation into a debate, right? But win, lose, draw.
So Don says, I don't think the goal of a disagreement should necessarily be to win. Listen for understanding and make your case. Shock to many, you might be wrong. It happened to me once back in 1993.
Yeah, I think
just once.
Just once.
But that's why I'm saying that's where you go. You know what? I don't understand.
Mhm.
You know, I want to continue this conversation, but I'm having a hard time understanding where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you can say that to some people, that will diffuse them. Other people will be like, well, then why aren't you, why aren't you up and knowledgeable on this?
Which brings us back to my point earlier.
Right.
Like if you have a certain person that just haven't, you kind of see the triggers, and it's like one phrase can really help with that situation. Then another phrase is going to help with another situation. So it's really just based on how you interpreting the conversation that you're having with the person. So instead of keep going and reamping everything, it's like, all right, what phrase can I use to kind of just diffuse it, move on to the next situation to where we can either one, come back to it, or two, just be like, that's the end of it. Just because if we go back to it, it's just going to go heated. So you kind of have to use it at some points, but you got to use it respectively, and you have to use it to make sense.
It's
you can't,
easier, yeah, it's
you
easier
can't just
than
throw it
saying-
out there.
It's easier than saying "fuck you."
Yeah, exactly. That
Right?
one for sure.
It's more polite than
One
saying
for
"fuck
sure.
you."
And also two, just be like, look, you're an idiot. I'm walking away. I'm out.
So
We're going
When
this
you
way.
call them the idiot, you can never revisit that. Once you
There
say
you go.
something like that to somebody, you
Exactly.
can never take
Shayna's
it back.
studio ready. So yeah,
Right.
you come in when you're ready. She says, Shayna, Lisa, how far into a conversation before you figure out you're dealing with one of those people?
Within like the first two phrases.
Listen, a lot of I've been blessed with the ability to read people pretty well. So
too.
a lot of my conversations in my own head go, hold my beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set the hook on this one. Watch, this will be fun. Right?
Because
Yeah.
you don't like to poke the bear.
I love poking the bear, you know.
So what was your first reading of me? You disagree?
Let me read. No,
Well, you remember where we first met, don't you?
it was at a mixer, I think.
It was at a
Yeah.
mixer at whatever the bar is on 120.
Oh yeah, my place.
My place
Yeah.
now. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you and Coach were over there, and I hear these guys, two bald guys and
And
a
a
microphone.
microphone.
I look over, I'm like,
Hey, which
look at these dudes.
which
Which is the best night of my life other than marrying my wife.
Listen,
There you go.
which, by the way, two bald guys and a microphone coming back on Wednesday morning, the 31st. We're kicking off.
Cool.
We're coming back. Coach is healthy. He's ready to go.
He's
He got
looking
through
good.
his. He's looking good. He's gotten through his
Quadruple bypass.
quad, and we are fired up. It's going to be at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. So 8 a.m. Wednesday mornings right
Cool.
here at 21.6 Net. Two bald guys and a microphone coming back
Yeah,
to
Coach,
the
we
air.
love you. We love you.
It's
Guys,
awesome.
tune in
That's
for
what's
that.
up.
one.
Tune in on Wednesday mornings.
All
Hump
right.
day.
All
We
right,
got.
what does Lisa say here?
You can
Says-
change direction as well, but just saying, wow, that's interesting. What made you come up with that? And I like that too. Yeah. And most who are in ego will dead stop because they have no answer. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow, that's great. Where'd you come up with that? Yeah.
What do you mean when you say that? So just when you say when people are in ego, they will ego.
Yeah,
they
she's
will
talking
dead
about
stop.
Lisa's a few comments ago where she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, let me bow down to you, great almighty all-knowing."
Oh, I mean Shane.
and let her sit in the
okay.
ego. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rather than a tie, I believe a draw would be a better way to describe the conclusion.
Thanks, Dad. I know you're trying to stand up for me, but I'm still looking.
He's
I'm
like-
still looking for that definition.
He's
of
all
tie.
alone in there.
Red
Right? Help him
grape.
out.
Green grape, still grape.
All right, I'm still gonna figure
Scott
it out.
has the T-shirt. Shut the f up. I don't want to talk about it. That's a good one. 21.6 right on the chest. It'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
By the way, we got our golf shirts in from Tom's Productions. They're awesome.
Oh, cool.
They're awesome.
Good.
A tie can be determined only by a third party.
So that third party would have to be sitting there listening to all the nonsense spewing out of our mouths,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a waste of time.
Yeah,
especially if it's
I don't
between
know,
Kent
but
and I.
I don't
We
know, but
thought-
I'll find out. Is not a bad answer
we
during a
decided to
disagreement.
start this show because then we could have
Yeah.
millions of people call in and say either both you guys are idiots or you know what, Ken,
You know,
Well, you got one.
here's the
one
other
right,
thing
one
to
the other.
say. Here's the other thing to
Good.
say is just ask the question. Help me understand why you disagree with me.
Mhm.
they're going to say the exact same thing that they've been trying to tell you the whole time.
Right. But
so
now-
they're going to regurgitate
but now
exactly
it-
what
now
you're
it-
disagreeing
but-
about. So that's just a
right.
polite question. Well, I guess in a way you could, depending on the person, you could get them to shut down, because for them to describe that would be probably more difficult.
I'm not asking them to shut down. What that's doing is allowing me, and I'm talking to myself, help me understand why you disagree. That makes my brain go, I need to understand.
So you're saying change what
you
you're saying.
You can't control them.
No, but you're asking them to maybe change their statement so you can maybe inform you a little bit more.
No, I'm saying I need to understand because I'm not understanding.
So this is, you're saying
help
this to the
me
person?
understand why
I disagree or
right,
why you
why
disagree.
I disagree with you.
You're going to say that to the person.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
so
I mean, I do like
what
that.
Information,
I do like that though.
Right, but what information can they theoretically tell you differently than
listen,
what they already
you're
have?
not hearing what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm asking how. If you're saying help me understand,
you're not understanding what I'm saying. Then
I understand. Okay,
right?
I am.
No, because you're still wanting. You're still thinking I'm saying it to them for them to change my mind.
Right.
I'm saying it to me to slow down my head.
I got you. Okay,
so that I get out of the disagreement part.
All right, that I got.
You understand what I'm saying?
That I got you now. I did not.
Right.
That makes total sense. Yeah. Right, and that's kind of resetting yourself, right? Going, okay,
correct.
Sit back.
But they're gonna take it like they'll take a breath too. Go, how do I help you not understand this? What don't you understand? If I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
If they're good at discussions, other people will be like, well, if you can't understand, then you're an idiot.
Okay, then I'm an idiot.
Right, but then those are the ones that is like, I'm just going to agree to disagree because
I've said that before a few times.
At the end of the day, we only all have so much time. We have to choose.
Yeah.
Right. Or you should. You don't have to, but you should choose what is important and what you're going to waste your time or spend your. I shouldn't say waste. What you're going to spend your time on. And for me, it's a lot easier to use this comment. Agree to disagree, because then most people look at you like, what? And you can end the conversation and walk away easily.
She's a professional at this, right? Lisa, that's what she says. Oftentimes it helps the other person too, because it forces the person's head to see it from your perspective to answer. They have to disprove your view, not only see theirs.
It can, but a lot of times when you're having to use that statement to people, at least in my experiences, a lot of times they've already regurgitated everything that they feel. Right?
I feel like
the reason
timing.
that they're right. For me, even asking them to say, help me understand, I don't feel like there's any new information going to come up. In the situations that I've been involved with, at least the people that I'm kind of being more specific with, I mean, her statement is right, but in a lot of instances, at least for me, it's just one of those things that ain't going to happen. It's just not going to work.
That's you being too close.
I think for me would be timing.
It's
timing. It's like based on timing in the conversation. If the conversation you were to tell has already got to the point where it's like, all right, this is it's gonna go south. Right. So from there, at that point, you got to be timely manner of saying the right phrases to go moving forward. Right. Same thing right there. If we've already had the discussion, we kind of already passed by it, but I still kind of want to understand where your point of view comes from. So since I disagree with you just this past moment, help me understand why I disagree with you. Right. Why was it that you were so bent on what your point of view was to not understand my point of view? What is that? So it's just the timing matter you can go back to.
Right. So the best way to understand or expose someone is to ask them questions that they have to talk about their position. Many times they have nothing. Yeah, but a lot of times this is listen,
Linda,
Scott, you have a blue shirt on.
That's sexy.
And I don't know that Scott's colorblind. He's like, it's not blue.
I've done that before.
It's not blue.
Right.
It's teal.
I got my orange shirt, whatever. Right. And I'm like, you have got to be out of your ever living mind.
Exactly.
How do you not see that that's a blue shirt? And then they're going to come back right now. Eventually they go, I'm colorblind. Oh,
done that. I had that conversation before.
I'm colorblind.
He's like one person had like, what's it called? They had green shoes. And he's like, oh man, look at my green shoes, man. I mean, what did he say? He's brown. He said, look at these brown shoes that I got, man. They're my new dress shoes. I want them to wear them with this outfit. And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, you keep saying brown, like, bro, that's green, man. He's like, no, it's brown. I'm like, no, dude, it's green. And then I'm like, I had to bring in this person, my own two children, be like, what color is that, you guys? They're like, green. And he's like scratching his head, like, what the hell did I just do?
With me?
Yeah, y'all messing with me. Y'all playing the jokes with me. He's like, come on, for real. Like, then you're like, okay, listen, you got to understand it's green, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna let's say it's green for you for now, just so we can move on.
Yeah.
I giggled a minute ago because you see Lisa's statement up there. She's just, and it goes back to a couple previous statements up. And she says, "This is why people don't like to argue with me."
Yeah.
It's like with, because, and when people don't like to argue with you, Lisa, and from my understanding, and is because you're right. People don't like to be wrong, right? Or you bring up such a valid point that it could actually hurt their feelings. And I don't argue with people to hurt their feelings. I do argue with people or discuss with people to understand better. I mean, that's one reason my statement is to question everything, right? Doesn't mean just what's going on in the world, but just with people. Why do you feel that? Why would you do that?
But now you're a hypocrite because you're not going to question why you're going to go, I agree to disagree.
But the reason I do say that at that point is because we've gotten to like just a blockage where it's not going to go any further, and the conversation.
So ask a question. That's what you need to do.
And maybe I should have a question, another question, but sometimes I might not have that proper question, or I realize that this conversation really.
You're not
just
composed.
It just doesn't bear any more energy
enough
to be
to
put
answer.
I always just bring up if we're in heated, I'll always just bring up. Do you really think we were a man walked on the moon in 1969?
Yeah, so you throw off the conversation.
Yeah,
listen,
I like that too.
That
I like that too
absolutely-
because I'm thinking to myself like,
and why haven't we been back? And why have come on?
Yeah,
but
and why does Mars look oddly like Iceland?
But for me,
anyway.
if someone does that to me, that's actually more disrespectful because then you're telling me basically, fuck you, I'm done talking.
Nope.
I would rather hear you say, I disagree to disagree. Let's revisit it, right?
It's a pattern. It's called a pattern interrupt.
It is a pattern interrupt.
At the moment,
that's also your pattern interrupting me because you're tired of listening to me.
Nope. I just want you to. I want you to get off of that track. That's all. Your mind is like the RC racer. Remember that little
just going back around in a circle all over time.
Remember hours you used to play that with your brothers? Like
still do it.
The little electric track. That's your mind. And all I'm trying to do is get you onto the other track
and keep moving forward.
They have it. Total.
So you look at
total control racing. You can switch lanes.
An open mind.
No, I don't remember. That was good.
An open mind is a key to any conversation involving potential disagreements. Fighting other people's reality does sound fruitless. Yes. Lisa says people's egos get hurt. They have worded it as feelings to make it sound better. Most people don't want to be wrong, so they say agree to disagree.
I'll be honest. At one point, if I'm at that certain level of like, listen, I'm like, I don't want to cross that line. So yes, I'm just going to say at that moment, because I don't want to be wrong at the moment, but maybe that's also a self-inflict within me to be like, why the hell was I right? Was I embedded on making sure that I was right? Am I really right? I'm like, at the moment, no, I'm probably not right. And maybe in that case scenario, when we go back to the conversation,
and you want to sit back and really reevaluate it, right?
That's just my personality. Like if we're going to have that heated discussion and I want to sit back and really look at the big picture and understand what the hell was the discussion? Why did I turn that corner of being upset? And what was your point of view across and what were you trying to say? So then now I'm like, okay, maybe you're right. So now let's get back to the conversation. Earlier today, we had a discussion. Earlier today, you said this, and this. Now at this moment, maybe you're right. Maybe you are right. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's just that I think it's the maturity to get back to that point.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, with Drew's comment, right? Most people don't want to be wrong. So they say agree to disagree.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, nobody really wants to be wrong, right?
Nope.
I don't think that saying
what SG3 he says, Tony, Lord knows that you aren't right on many of the conversations you and I have.
Look, there's a different scenario why I'm in that case. Okay, those are different debates that we discuss. Okay, so relax.
But it has nothing when you say something like, well, going back to Drew's statement, just saying agree to disagree because you're wrong. It's not really it. Like we talked about, trying to get more information, maybe to understand them a little bit better. But at this point, I feel when I'll use that, you come to a point where you're not going to bear any more fruit from this conversation at this time. Come back and revisit it. And that's why I will use that statement. And we're revisiting. We spent an hour talking about a little statement that got underneath your craw last
week. Never get underneath. I just think
but it was a good but it made you think about it. Wow, that's an interesting statement. This is something that we should really talk about because this is something that happens all the time, but people just let it fester inside them.
Yeah.
There's different reasons and different times to use conversations and comments. And that's why I explain it's a different time, different person, different conversation, why you're using it. It's not meant to be disrespectful. It could be that you need to sit back so you can understand, what they're coming at. So you can come back and actually maybe finish the discussion.
What I'm saying is that the word agree and the word disagree are total opposites.
So it's kind of like an
So you can't
oxymoron
have-
type of scenario.
Right.
So it's like
So
if you
what
take
I'm
the
saying-
words literally, right? I mean, it would. Go ahead.
Why wouldn't you take the words literally?
Well,
That's what the meanings are.
yes.
well, sometimes statements are meant to be,
Right. So-
interpreted in different manners.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm a big proponent on words have meanings,
Yes.
right? And in today's world, we have decided to take a lot of those meanings
Correct.
away or
Yes.
redefine.
I was going to say
Redefine,
them, give you the
redefine,
Urban
and
Dictionary.
interpret
So,
that meaning.
Even
in
though
there.
you redefine, your brain still knows the meaning.
right,
Right?
it'll always
Yeah.
be there. You never
So-
change it.
Let's agree. That means get along, agree to disagree. They're two
Well, let's
different.
agree
they're-
that we're not gonna
they're-
come to a-
They're the total opposites.
Yeah, but let's agree.
so
that
you
we're
can
not
never
gonna come-
agree to
Right,
disagree.
but let's just agree that we're not going to see eye to eye on this,
Right.
and let's move on.
Yeah.
It's not. And
That's
in a way-
different
right?
than agree to disagree.
But that's the scenario for me that it sets. I feel it's setting up.
The
when I'm
words
telling
you
the
just
people,
said are different than agree to disagree.
I disagree.
Right?
I'm agreeing to disagree.
You want to do the ground every Friday morning at
That's it.
7:30. Now it's Tony and Giles.
Lisa says.
sitting behind the camera.
Lisa says, I've been known to say I can't respond in this way. I will be proud of later, which means my ego has been bruised or I am angry and taking time to walk away and rethink. Yeah, and that's kind of what Tony was saying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that right. So for me, sometimes I have said that because I feel, that it's like, all right, just I gotta walk.
I gotta
Right?
walk
I
before
gotta
I-
walk before it gets
Before I look
worse.
like Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson, I'm gonna sit here and strangle
No.
you. Like, come on, kid.
It's really, and I'm going with Drew. I'm going with Lisa. Absolutely, one of the biggest things is your ego. At that point,
It's an
at
ego
that
check.
point, you aren't capable of being present right here
Yes.
and saying, I am not understanding you.
I agree, and that's the thing.
Right.
I've agreed to that part because I'm a person of that statue where it happens in those scenarios. That's why, and from my perspective, I use that phrase because it's like I can't be present with you in this argument. I cannot literally have the energy and the strength to put me in this situation
like
where
that
I'm
statement.
going to put you in
Right.
to understand you. So guess what I got to do? I gotta get the hell away from you because if I don't get away from you, then something's about to happen.
right. At this
So
point, yeah, it's not worth. It's
it's-
not worth.
no.
continuing
Listen,
on.
and I've said several
It's
times
not.
in my life, listen, doesn't matter what you say. I ain't never going to agree with you. I
Mhm.
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Listen, talk all you want. It's going in one ear and out the other because from this point forward, it doesn't matter.
And there's certain people I
Whatever
use
you
that phrase.
say, you're never going to change my mind.
And
Right.
how does
And
it
that's the
work?
So
thing,
you can
there's
keep
Person.
talking or we can end it.
That's the thing. I've used that a certain perspective when it comes to either my father, my uncles, or like my cousins or something like that, other friends, like male friends. I can never really kind of use that type of saying with everyone, and that's in that sense. And I'm the person that yes, I may not really care about your feelings because if you're a person that's not going to be relate to me in my everyday life, I don't care. But if I really know who you are and I want this relationship to continue moving forward, then I'm not going to disrespect you and kind of keep pushing this argument and really embed it
Right.
where now you
Now-
hate me.
Now, and here's what I'm going to say because we're on the back end of this.
We can go another.
Everybody,
hour.
everybody up here, every one of the comments, every one of our comments
Mhm.
today, it's about a heated discussion.
Yeah.
That's the only time this comes out.
Yes.
A heated discussion,
Mhm.
right? And let's just take a deep breath for a moment and go, all right, let's look at the landscape here.
Yeah.
The only time let's agree to disagree is when one, it's heated, or two, I'm pushing you off.
Mhm.
That's it. Every one of these, right? We're talking about ego. We're talking about tempers. We're talking about
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We're not talking about facts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
We're not talking about logic.
Yes.
We're talking
Well,
about
feelings are part of life and part of your human psyche. So I mean, it's going to play a part. no
A
matter
big
what.
part.
A big part.
Big part.
no. Your feelings are.
Both.
You don't have any?
No,
feelings?
both. You have to say both because you have
I
to
don't
be.
give a shit about his feelings.
Well, that's the thing. Not everybody. So that person who does has to that's why they do use that, and that's why they have to interpret that.
You
Right.
have
Like,
to have some respect
right.
towards that other person.
And
so you
it's
have
that
to
respect
the
factor,
feelings.
like-
You might not agree
Let's
with
put it
them.
this way.
You're both grown ass men. If what I say hurts your feelings, I can grow a pair.
True, but
Grown ass.
in
Man.
situations, let's say you're in
Define man.
in a boardroom, and now you're having those arguments, discussions.
Define man.
Yeah,
I'm not going that route.
You look at
You're
No.
both men, so grow up. Grow a pair. We got a
Right.
pair. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
how is
But
it?
that's what I mean. Like if you keep going in that manner in a boardroom, now all of a sudden now you got these people going to be sitting here doing some other shady stuff to kind of get you in.
Well, the
in a different
boardroom is
manner.
a different thing. It's about the size and the huevos. You know what I mean? And trying to step over somebody else.
It could be
to get
that.
somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Those are just
The whole
trying to
different
get in your
scenarios.
own, right?
Yeah.
Looking out for yourself. 100%.
One way or the other.
The conversation, the reason we've got this up is it's a personal interaction, and it's for me, and because we are at the end here, people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know we love you kicking in. I do it out of respect. Now that you guys have opened up my eyes a little bit, that maybe I'm actually throwing a little bit more disrespect at somebody by using that statement. But for me, it's a diffuser.
It's
But-
a
It's
different-
an
again,
easy,
for
it's
sure.
an easy
But
way to
again,
get out of
you-
conversation
but again,
without
you-
saying you're an idiot.
But again, you're the people pleaser. You go out of your way. You'll make your life uncomfortable to please people.
Yeah, I
It's
do
not
too.
a bad thing.
I do too.
I'm not saying it's a bad
Right.
thing,
I know,
but we know that's who you are. Look,
Right.
you will be the guy who runs down to the river with a bucket if your neighbor's house is on fire,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Which is the way it
Right?
should be.
I mean, that's
respectfully.
yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. Human nature.
And that's
'Cause
that's you,
I
right?
treat people the
So-
way I want to be treated.
Mhm.
So that's what we have to be able to take a breath and go, why am I getting heated over this guy's opinion?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
deep down inside, there's something.
I'm
there's-
getting
you're
heated every time
you're
they
hitting
talk
a
about LeBron.
trigger somewhere
Right.
down inside, and that's why people will get this way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get into heated discussions or arguments because you don't give a shit. Because there's a
You
trigger.
really
You're
care.
triggering
You're
something.
real exactly. You
and that's
really
where
care
at some
about it.
point, like, I don't care anymore, and it's like, all right, agree to disagree.
Or I'm not
Instead of
just like,
saying,
I'm
fuck
not.
you, you're an idiot.
Oh, so just say that.
Because I'd like to. Well, I can't because then I would.
I feel bad.
It would cause. Well, no, I would feel bad.
if
I
it's
would. I would.
So-
I would actually
so let
like
me-
to
let
say
me
it to
ask you
certain
this.
people,
Let me
but
ask
it
you
would
this.
co-
Let me
the
ask you
ripple effect would
That-
be just
going a
unbelievable.
different way.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How many friends,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote friends, have you lost over a conversation in your lifetime? Name them. Just number.
Well, if you lose,
Is it
hold
10?
on,
Is
if
it
you-
100?
If you
Is it
lose
1?
a friend over a conversation, they weren't a friend to begin.
That's what I'm exactly saying. So
That's
why you
true.
care?
That's true.
Why
I've
you
lost
care?
friends.
So,
Right.
well,
I-
I don't know why. It's an interesting
Right.
because I mean, we'll go back to. I know you're gonna watch
It's-
his face because we are a tribe, right? So, if you're kicking out your tribe for disagreeing, right, where do you end up? Alone.
Another tribe.
Yeah.
No,
Create
another
what's
tribe.
the Survivor.
You
Survivor.
get eaten by them.
The
damn
2-1
cannibals.
that's what we should do. We should do 216 Survivor.
Yeah,
Oh,
Don
that-
says that if,
podcast.
if you think
Hey,
Kent does not
that's
care
nice.
at all about others' feelings, we'll have to agree to disagree.
No, he loves their feelings, Don, and that's why he says the crazy shit he says.
Right.
He wants to see he wants me to help him understand.
Yeah, so true. Shayna's so true. We don't go down, we don't talk about politics, but she's so true. Opinion, unless challenged, can end up as legislation.
Oh, jeez.
Here in America.
Let's not do politics now, but yeah, she's right
Yeah, telling an idiot he's an idiot is a waste of time. He's an idiot.
because he doesn't understand it. So
You
that's
cannot
where
know
you
it by
defer. Right?
definition.
You say agree to disagree. Oh, that's good. That means I'm right. An idiot will walk away going agree to disagree. That means I'm right. Just like you said, he has no info. He has no knowledge on this. Yeah, he sucks. I'm done.
Facts.
Right? No. Well, and that's the
I like
thing,
how you
because
say
sometimes-
facts. Say facts again.
Facts.
Facts.
Facts. Like
No.
sex.
Say like you say facts.
You need the facts.
There you go.
Got that. You do really good on radio.
The enunciations are awesome.
Right?
I'll put it that way. It's
He
really
puts
good.
the good emphasis on the wrong
Yes.
syllable.
You gotta listen. It's the way I fucking talk, you fuckers.
Hey, how y'all do out there? Oh, are we passed?
Yeah.
Oh my
we're-
God!
we're
Hey
5
guys,
minutes
thank you for
over.
tuning in today to the
was
ground.
awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Good
Tony,
time.
thanks for being a guest with us.
Oh, I
You
appreciate
are
it.
welcome back anytime because
Cool.
you help and support me over here, which is good. I always need a little help in the back end.
I'm the
Listen.
narrator in between. I was on both
Hey,
sides.
No,
You know
but
what I mean?
it's
good.
nice,
It's
different
good.
perspective.
Yeah, it
Kent
is.
and I,
It is.
at the end of the day, after we get off air, we believe in the same shit a lot of times.
Most
And
of the
our show is designed.
I
Really
do that
to
because
make
I'm worried about
right,
his feelings.
make
I don't
people
wanna-
think about
don't
things from a different
Don't
perspective.
want to ruin his weekend.
I play the dummy. He plays the intelligent guy. And I
No,
think that they would
I'm
both
far
love
from
each
the
other.
intelligent. I play the
Dude,
poker.
don't kid yourself. You
I'm
are
the-
highly intelligent.
I'm the bear
That's
poker.
the reason no hair grows on that head. Isn't that what they say?
Always
God only
thinking.
made so many perfect
Always.
brains, the rest be covered with hair.
That's right.
That's why you and Drew are buds, man.
That's it.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in.
It's awesome.
We're way past
Thank
it.
you guys.
Listen,
we really appreciate it. Be the
here's-
change you want to see in the world.
There are a lot of good things happening at 21.6 today. Of course, big day. Of course, we got Bridging Civil Tension come up. It'll be a neat one as well.
I'm gonna stay with them.
Yeah, stick around. We've got the Neighborhood Pulse. We've got great stuff too. Our Success Journey podcast fellas, Marlon and Ricky, they have created and are giving out their show's doing so well that they're giving out scholarships. That's how you change the world.
Oh wow.
Check it out.
Cool.
I reposted
is
it
awesome.
on 216 Net Facebook. Great stuff. These guys are just doing so many good things.
That's the one where they showed a diploma or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I shared that too. I shared it on their
good,
page. That was
so
awesome.
good.
Cool.
And then we've got the Neighborhood Pulse in the know with Steph and Joe.
Mhm.
Tonight will be a rerun. We don't have a new show for Dream Home Experts, but
And
a lot of good
innovative
things.
strategies as well.
That's cool.
too, right?
Oh yeah,
That's a
Innovative
rerun.
Strategies comes in as a
Bill
rerun
Hossey,
as well.
great
Yep.
show. If you guys, all the shows are great.
So like, share, subscribe. Our big push is over the next week or so. We're going to be having, and here's what we want everybody to know is we're gonna start creating YouTube pages for each show. Okay. Because some of the shows get a little bit difficult, and then we're shut down for a week. Thanks, Drew. And
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino.
He's Italian. He can't
and then
help
we can,
himself.
and then every show's. So what
we
we're
love
deciding to do is create YouTube pages. So in the future, you'll still catch us on YouTube here, but we're going to ask you to like, subscribe to the Grounds YouTube channel.
Independently.
And
Yeah.
then everything's right there, and you
Cool.
can pull up. Hey, look at this is who I spend my Friday morning with. These idiots.
That's great.
We'll agree to disagree.
There you go.
Guys, and once again, like I said,
Google us.
be the change you want to see in the world. And please, enjoy this weekend, but do remember why we're having this weekend. And if you ever do see any veterans or people walking around, do the right thing and go up and thank them.
Yeah.
Because,
That's cool.
those people, the inner battles that they fight in their heads because of what they've done for us and what they see happening to our country, just go out,
Yeah.
give them some love, appreciate what they've done, move forward, and be the change you want to see in the world.
And remember,
We
our
love you
mission
all.
here at 216 Creator Studios is to become the world's #1 podcast creation platform. If you know somebody with good content, and wants to be part of something cool and huge,
Yep.
send them our way. For all of us here at 216 The Net, thanks for tuning in, getting caught in the net with us this morning.
Love you guys. Have a great weekend.